Once upon a time, a fairly long time ago, there lived a man called Tommy the Tinker, and he lived in the middle of a great range of mountains. To get to his home, you had to go up and down and up and down and up and down and up, and then a little bit down, and then you arrived at his house. Now, Tommy was a lonely man because, well, he lived far away from where most people lived, up there in the mountains. And also, he had what some people call a bit of a phobia, because he only liked, for example, to eat things that began with T, like his name, Tommy the Tinker. He liked to eat tortillas and tomatoes and toast and tacos and tostadas and other things that began with T, but he didn't like foods like pizza, marshmallows, jelly. Didn't like any of those. He liked things that began with T. Because he was a tinker, he made things out of tin. He made a toy trumpet. Well, the toy tiger wasn't made of tin. I think it was made out of tartan fabric. And he made a toy train. And he had a few things in his house. He had a toothbrush. He had a toilet, which was handy, and toilet paper. Oh, and he had a teapot and tea bags. There are a lot of things he didn't have. For example, he didn't have friends, because friends don't begin with a T. He didn't have money, because money doesn't begin with T. He didn't have a job, because job doesn't begin with T. And so he was lonely. Although he did have, as somebody pointed out today, he did have a tabby cat, which began with a T and ended with a T. Tabby cat. But he was still lonely, and he had no money. And in the end, he decided, he kept all his things on a table. I forgot to tell you that this morning. On a table, like that, like a T itself. So he had his toothpaste and his toy train and his toy tiger and his trumpet and his toilet paper and his toothbrush and his tomatoes and a few other things that you can probably think of. I wonder what you can think of that he had that began with T, that he liked. He grew tulips in the garden, and he liked the sound of, well, he liked the sound of trumpets. I can't think of it. He liked the smell of Taram Salata. He was very fond of Taram Salata. Anyway, one day he decided that it was enough, that he couldn't go on living there anymore with so little food and so few friends. And so he put all his things in the one thing he owned that did not begin with T. It was a sack. A beautiful sack. Had a lovely round fat body and another one on the other side. And in it he put all his things that began with T. His train, his trumpet, his tiger, his toothpaste, his toilet paper, and his tomato, and a few other things besides. But not the tabby cat, because tabby cats don't like to go in sacks. Nor do they like to walk long distances, because he had to go back. He had to go up the mountain. Well, he was going a different way now. Now he was going this way, because he was going to go to a town, because he thought he would like to be a teacher. He could teach people how to make things out of tin, like trumpets and teapots. And so he set off. He had to go up the mountain. Let me think, you're watching it from that side. So in fact, he went this way. He didn't go back up and down and up and down and up and down, slightly bendy, up and down, and finally came to a road. And then he set out. It was long, and he trudged along. Oh, I forgot to tell you, he also had a t-shirt and he had trousers. But he didn't have shoes, and he didn't have a hat. And it was a hot day. And his sack was heavy. The toy train was quite big. And so he was not so happy. And all the travelling had made him tattered and torn, and he was a bit troubled and a bit tetchy. And As he walked along, he moaned and groaned and talked about, oh, what a horrible life I have, how lonely I am, oh, what an unlucky man I am, oh, I wish I had never been born as Tommy the Tinker, and I'm going to sneeze now. That was my sneeze, not Tommy the Tinker's sneeze. Anyway, so he was walking along going, oh, woe is me, oh, this sack is so heavy, oh, life is so hard, the sun is so hot, oh, the road is so long, the bag is so fat, and I am so lonely, and oh, woe, 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 woe is me, what an unlucky man I am. Now, as he was walking along, carrying on like that, a man called Mulla Nasruddin was leaning against a tree, smoking a pipe, and eating an apple, and possibly he had a pizza, and even a bag of marshmallows. Anyway, he was a happy man. He looked a little bit like John, who came yesterday to help look at our trees and sort out the bits where the ropes from the swings were strangling them. And he had a warm, friendly smile, and he looked at Tommy the Tinker. Oh, woe is me. And he thought, I could cheer that chap up. I could make him a lot happier. And so he put his pipe away and his pizza and his marshmallows and his bits and his bobs, and he put his hat on and he ran out into the road and he grabbed Tommy Tinker's sack, which he'd just put down that minute, and disappeared into the trees. Did it so fast that Tommy Tinker didn't even have time to chase him. He hardly saw where he'd gone. He just went, oh no! The worst has happened. I had a sack. Now I have nothing. Oh, I am such an unhappy, unhappy man. Mulla Nasruddin was watching him from behind a tree. He cried so much that he made a puddle in the road, a puddle of muddy, salty mud. But Mulla Nasruddin had a plan. He ran on down past the road, went over a little bit of a hill, and he came round a corner where the road would go on the way to the town where Tommy Tinker hoped to be a teacher, and he put the sack in the middle of the road. And then he went back and leaned against the rock in the sun and waited for Tommy Tinker to come along. Well, eventually he did. And he trudging along, I only had one sack. And then, there in the middle of the road, my sack! My sack! Oh, my sack! And he was so happy. He danced up and down. He even blew his nose because he was so happy. And he took that sack, he looked inside, everything was there, and he just danced a jig. He said, I'm a happy man, I'm a happy tinker, I got my sack. Ooh. And then Mulla Nasruddin came out and said, it's good to see you so happy, Tommy Tinker. I've heard about you, and I've got an idea. Why don't you come and live with me, and you can make your trains and your trumpets and your teapots and your tins, and we can sell them, and we can make some money, because there's a lot of people who live down here on the flat bit, and I can teach you how to enjoy pizzas and marshmallow and jelly and bread and cheese and eggs and mince pies and Christmas cake and birthday cake. Ooh, birthday cake, said Tommy the Tinker. I've never had birthday cake. Well, I will make you one. And so they lived together, and they made plenty of things out of tin, and which he sold, and in the end Tommy Tinker did become a teacher and teach other people how to make things out of tin, and they lived happily ever after. And that was the story of Tommy the Tinker, who came out of the mountains with his big sack and found a new life, thanks to Mulla Nasruddin, who looked like John. And that is the end. No candle, I'm afraid, because I'm at home. This is my home. Well, this is part of my home. It's bigger than this bit. Okay, thank you.